Hi, my name is Andrea Guevara, candidate number 1287. Today I'll be talking about the creative critical reflection that led me to create this project, this portfolio studio project that I've been previously uploaded to my blog. I would like to discuss, first of all, the inspiration and the background information that led me to the realization of this piece and all the factors that contributed for the collaboration and the final outcome that I'll be presenting. In the process of explaining the evolution of the creation of my portfolio project, I will need to begin by explaining the form of media that I utilized to record my thought process throughout this time. The existence of a blog in Google applications Blogger, Google Blogger, aided me in creating a series of posts and blog issues that allowed me to express to my audience the thought process in the creation of this piece. I was able to record, as in the form of a daily diary, the different pieces of information that I was elaborating on in my project. First, I wanted to discuss the purpose and what led me to create this piece. I wanted to create the blog to explain, have a recorded source of where my ideas came from and what developed into the final outcome. I wanted to include creative ideas, general brainstorming, storyboards, illustrations, pictures, images, and inspiration sources. All of this to be able to tie it all at the end and have a more deep analysis. I did some research and I concluded that the most important factors that I needed to have for my film opening and to have in mind and into consideration before I started recording and developing the project itself was three things. Number one, make room for mystery, given the genre that I had chosen. Number two, allow for discovery, always leaving the audience asking for more and engaging. And number three, not reveal all at once, which is especially for the hook of the piece and would also be very useful when explaining and elaborating on the suspense of the piece. Research was a key process in the development of this project. At the beginning of it, I encountered myself with some wise words by Ken Miyamoto, screenwriter, former Sony Pictures script reader, and story analyst. He said the following: "The best opening pages of a screenplay and later the best opening moments of the eventual film must engage us. We have to be engaged by what we're seeing and feel the need to continue on by turning to the next page, or stay in your seats and watching the movie unfold." After reading this, I concluded that I needed to find key elements in my piece to have an audience that felt engaged. So I started off by researching for inspiration sources. I concluded that I wanted the following things to be incorporated in a way or another into my final piece. I needed a hook because I definitely wanted to engage the audience in the few minutes that I had to portray the film opening. I wanted my piece to be innovative and have innovation all over its elements and composition, because this as well would have aided in the hook and in attracting the audience. I wanted to make it appealing to the target audience, which I had already chosen, and this would have helped a lot in the distribution practices and the way of developing my analysis, my thought when having to incorporate the target audience and the strategies used for my marketing productions and strategies. I wanted interesting angles and shots because these are always helpful in making the overall piece look professional and would have given the piece and the film a far more dynamic and attractive content, as well as managing the quality of the image to also make it more attractive. When brainstorming what would do the trick to capture and have an innovative hook that would attract my audience and my target market, I came to the conclusion of the following ideas, and that this will be the effective techniques to use. Introduce the audience in the middle of action in the film. Provide the main character traits before establishing the setting. Convey the idea of enlightenment, change, or revolution, or all combined. Use flashbacks to provide information of pre-revolution and change status. or flash forwards. Begin with close-up shots of the main character's face or extreme close-ups to show facial expressions and feelings of the character, or the use of shots to evoke time passing and having a dynamic start in the piece. I decided in settling with the genre of science fiction and drama. The reason why I chose to do this is because utilizing this genre will aid me in having my film opening capture the audience on action, which I think makes a far more exciting opening because it's a more dynamic and entertaining feature. Also, I believe it will make a more effective opening by hooking the audience with suspense and desire to know what's going to happen after that active full-on motion introduction. To do this, I'd used an out-of-space factor element at the beginning of my film with a filter of bubbles, which incited the idea of a portal and created a contrast between reality and fantasy and provoked a new dimension or world in which the rest of the plot of the movie will develop. It also adds a supernatural force or feature that establishes a translation from the terrestrial world to another magical supernatural world. The desired effect I want is to lead the audience towards an expected plot that later turns out to become the most unexpected outcome and results in leaving the audience cut out from the film in the most exciting section, which thereafter will leave them wanting more, making my production successful. The target market I chose for this specific production was teenagers of ages 13 to 19. My film has the hook feature of leaving the audience in suspense, asking for more, because of the way that it shows a magical or supernatural elements right before at the end. This hook appeals to a range of different audiences, from teenagers to young and mid-adults. However, the target audience I chose for my movie was teenagers of ages 13 to 19 because I believe they will be the ones greatly identified with the main character of the story depicted in the film. By creating a direct connection with this population niche, my product will appeal to pathos and aid in attracting the target audience to watch it. The product will be easy to distribute given the diversity of resources that are daily utilized by this specific target market. A way of distributing will develop from the special guests appearances utilized throughout the movie, in which 6 celebrities will appear as guests in the form of extras on a few scenes of the film, creating word of mouth about the movie and the actors in it. In addition to this part, all of the actors hired in the play as extras or as main characters will include a section in their contracts that entails their collaboration in the distribution practices throughout the 3 of their private social media accounts. Given that social media is a main source of media used by my target audience, this will be very effective in advertising the movie. By doing this, thousands of followers of the celebrities portrayed in the movie will be reached with this form of cost-effective advertising, allowing the marketing of the film to be extended to mass audiences and therefore be more effective. For my film opening, I decided to portray the thoughts of a young boy and the way in which different in modern society is constantly considered out of the norm or weird in a non-acceptable way. I illustrated this through the main character's perspective of the world and his abnormal views of life and nature. Throughout the production of my film opening, it was a key factor to incorporate technological appliances for the objective of obtaining a final outcome with a more professional composition, as well as a more attractive and dynamic content. The software I utilized for my portfolio product was the application iMovie installed in a Mac device, through which I was able to integrate elements of sound effects and voiceovers with pictures, videos, and also manage other settings including image filters, sound quality, order of appearance of scenes, etc. I also utilized several online sources when researching for tutorials and finally to obtain the copyright-free music for me to incorporate to the film. A few of the sound effects I also exported from online sources. This represented an enormous help when editing the project at the end of the stage of production. YouTube, SoundCloud, and the Purple Gallery of Free Sounds were the online sources from which I got the content that I included in my final piece. As for the use of hardware, I kept a simplistic emphasis to have an easier time at the moment of having to edit and tie everything together into one final project. Therefore, I only use an iPhone 6s for the recording of all the scenes in the film and a MacBook Air to be able to access the editing application iMovie, and through his device I had connection to the internet, online radio stations, and online research resources because of the benefits of the technological conversions present and available with this one device that served the means of what years ago would have required more than one device. When analyzing the benefits that this project had on my knowledge and understanding of production skills, it is crucial to mention that my abilities to edit media forms like videos was extremely basic, if at all. To be able to produce this film and obtain the final outcome presented in my blog, I had to conduct a series of research of editing methods and techniques in a variety of websites and watch several tutorials on the art of editing and incorporating sound effects. Because of this, I am able to say that creating this movie opening represented a journey full of learning experiences and brought me to the understanding of many features and technological appliances for the means of editing, as well as allowing me to reach a greater potential and exploding my skills on these practices. Moreover, this project overall served for me to practice my skills on production of certain angles, shots, and camera movement strategies that I had previously learned theory and content on throughout this school year in the ACE Media Studies course.